This is the sixth video on the palynology series of lectures. Here we will talk about the exine sculptures. Exine sculptures are the ornamentations that are present on the tectum, the supratectal ornamentation that we are talking about. So Artman had given a classification or a key for the exine sculpture or the supratectal ornamentations. So he divided first into two categories. The first category, that is A, is sculpturing elements absent, and the contrasting character, that is double A, is sculpturing elements present. So against sculpturing elements absent, there were two categories again, B and BB. B is surface smooth or even. There is no sculpture, neither any depression nor any projection. So this smooth structure is called psilate or foveolate. Okay. Then surface pitted, or there are depressions. These depressions are almost rounded depressions, and it depends on the diameter of the depression, that what we will call it. So if it is less than 1 micrometer, it is called punctate, and if it is more than 1 micrometer, we call it foveolate. Now, sculptural elements present. Within that, there are two categories. One is the elements are, these are projections outside the tectum. So that's why they are saying, Artman is saying that sculptural elements present. However, depressions are also one type of sculptures, but he has mentioned it, since it is not exposed outside, it is not projected outside, it has been mentioned as absent. So here there may be two categories. Sculptural elements could be absolutely the outline, the basal outline may be isodiametric, or you can say radial, and the projections could be elongated type. So depending on that, if it is isodiametric, there could be various types of structure. It could be pointed, it could be rounded, it could have the basal region narrower, the upper region wider. Depending on that, there are different nomenclatures. Like the first one, the diameter is less than 1 micrometer. If the diameter of the element is less than, and it should also be mentioned that the tip is rounded. In that case, we call it granulate or grana. So small, very small, tiny granules over the surface is the grana. Then comes the base is wider and tip is narrower. Tip is wider, base is constricted. So these two categories. Within them, then comes the height, the E and double E or triple E here that has been mentioned. So when wide at base, height less than or equal to width, in that condition the height is lesser than the width. Under that situation, it may be pointed or it may be blunt, rounded. So if it is pointed, we will call it like this. If it is pointed like this, we will call it coni, achinate or achinous. And if it is blunt like this, then we will call it verrucae or verrucate. Now, height greater than width or equal to width. So if it is greater than width like this, then we will call it, the tip is pointed, we will call it spinae. There may be confusion in coni, achinate or spinae, and this confusion is quite reasonable, quite logical, and that might happen. So there is no problem that you can call any type of conical structure as coni, achinate or spinae. That liberty should be there. Blunt, height is greater than the width, but the surface is blunt. That is called, it's columella-like, column-like. So that is called baculi. So this baculi means columella. So this word has been used at several places. Constricted at base. Base becomes narrower. So there could be three situations here. Height and width same, but the base is narrower. So in that case, it will be a rounded structure, the diameter of which is more than 1 micrometer. Otherwise, it will be confused with the granules or grana or the scabrate situation. It is called gemmae. You may call it gemmae. Now, height greater than width, but constricted like a club shaped. That is called clavate. And then height greater than width, but it becomes narrower quite a longer distance. So it is a stalk-like structure, narrow stalk with a bulbous head. This is called pilate. Now talking about the irregular projections, radially elongated projections. They may be, there may be three categories. If the radially elongated projections are irregularly oriented in different ways, there is no particular orientation, no network. That means one particular projection does not fuse with the other. Then we will call it rugulate or vermiculate, worm-like projections. Network-like becomes interconnected. Then it forms network-like. This is called reticulate. And when they are parallelly oriented, just like the finger-like, you can say one after another, there are projections, elongated projections, and parallelly arranged more or less, then that is called striate or striae. So this was we can also visualize it with diagram like this. So this the C is psilate, A is punctate, B is foveolate, because these are depressions wider than 1 micrometer, lesser than 1 micrometer. This one D is granules, or you can call it gemmae also, because the base is constricted. Now E height lesser than the width, so it is, and rounded surface, so it is verrucate. Now this one, these two can be considered as verrucate. In fact, E, G, both of them. F is coney, height lesser than width, but pointed apex. Height greater than width, but with pointed apex. Okay, this one H. This can be called spinae, and this one is baculi, I. Yeah, J is gemmae. So definitely here diagram D, this means the granulate structure, because the size is less than 1 micrometer. That has been shown by the smaller size of the rounds, the rounded structures shown. This L is clavate, club shaped, and the K is pilate structure, stalk with a bulbous head. And now talking about this, the radially elongated sculptures, there are three types. N is rugulate, M is reticulate. As you can see, they are interconnected. They are elevations, they are not channels or canals. And this is striate, parallel elevations. So this was all about the, here you can see there are many sculptures on the Poland wall, and you can, this belongs to the A is Geraniaceae family, Pelargonium hartum A. B is Passiflora. Okay. C is Pisum sativum. This one, Pisum sativum, seems to be reticulate. B also is reticulate. There are apertures also. D also is reticulate with goniotrim type of aperture. D belongs to Salvia patens, Lamiaceae family member. Hibiscus schizopetalis, that is E, of Malvaceae family, spiny sculptures. You can see this is pointed as well as the height is greater than the width, and the arrow shows the aperture, so it is pantoporate type of. F is almost psilate with a single pore, so this is definitely a poesy, character of poesy. So poesy panicum virgatum, that the pollen grain of panicum virgatum is F. G shows tricolpate situation. It is Gloxinia sylvatica of Gesneriaceae family. G. H is Silene alba of Caryophyllaceae. Here you can, it seems to be scabrate with very small, or granulate you can say. And then I is again spiny structure, and spines are very much pointed, and this belongs to Tagetes species of Asteraceae or Composite family. So these are various types of sculptures published in Annual Plant Reviews 2018, Exine apertures patterns on the pollen surface by Wang and Dobrista. So that was all about the sculptures of Exine or supratectal ornamentations. Thank you very much for watching these videos, in fact.